What's up, everybody? It is the Gaming Goblin, and welcome back to another video. I've got a special treat for you. Today, I'm going to be playing what is widely considered the first ever video game. That's right. I've always been interested in like the history of video games and gaming in general, development stories, how we got from wartime era, research and just intelligence, and got all the way to things like Mario and Pokemon and Call of Duty and all that. I don't know if this is gonna be a series. We'll see. This is something that I've been interested in for a while. Over the years, I've kind of started compiling a list of essentially every video game in order of release. And I'm starting as far back as it can possibly go, mainly using Wikipedia as my source. I know people are like, well, Wikipedia is kind of maybe iffy. The subject matter could be edited, but this is going to be the first ever video game. This is called the Cathode Ray Amusement Device. Okay, the cathode ray tube amusement device. So I'm going to give you a little backstory on this. I'm reading from the Wikipedia page, the early history of video games. So the ancestors to video games include the cathode ray tube amusement device, the earliest known interactive electronic game, as well as the first to incorporate a cathode ray tube screen. That's CRT, like those big chunky TVs that you might remember from childhood. The player simulates an artillery shell trajectory on a CRT screen connected to an oscilloscope with a set of knobs and switches. The device uses purely analog electronics and does not use any digital computer or memory device or execute a program. It was patented by Thomas T. Goldsmith Jr. and Essel Ray Mann in 1947. So that's our date right there. 1947, the first video game. It's debatable whether or not it's actually a real video game, given what I just described. It's kind of limited interactability, and we'll see it here shortly when I demonstrate. While the idea behind the game was potentially to use a television set as the display and thus sell the invention to consumers, the Goldsmith and Mann worked as television designer Dumont Laboratories. The patent, the first for an electronic game, was never used and the device was never manufactured beyond the original handmade prototypes. This, along with the lack of electronic logic circuits, keeps the device from being considered the first video game. In 1948, shortly after patenting the device, Alan Turing and David Champernowne developed the earliest known written computer game, a chess simulation called TurboChamp, that was never actually implemented on a computer as the code was too complicated to run on machines at the time. Turing tested the code in a game in 1952 where he mimicked the operation of the code in a real chess game against an opponent, but was never able to run the program on the computer. So essentially, what this is saying is it's not really a video game, and secondly, it doesn't exist. You can't buy this on eBay at all. The only way that we are able to play the cathode ray tube amusement device, which is a great name by the way, it's very straightforward. The only way we're able to play that is through simulation. So I have here a website. I'll put the link to the website in the description of this video. But someone faithfully recreated what this might have looked like in 1947. It was done for research purposes, as a lot of these early games. Like I said, if this ends up becoming a series and we go over the history of video games, a lot of these early games are going to be just that, research purposes that are built and designed for their use case, and then they're either destroyed or forgotten about, things like that. It's like, like the Chicago World Fair, where like in the early 1900s they built this huge like massive structures to showcase, all the crazy stuff of the world and all these artists and visionaries and things like that, and then was rapidly tore down after the event was over. That's kind of what a lot of these early quote unquote video games are. So that's enough about the backstory here. We're just going to get into the gameplay. So here is our simulation. Um, Essentially, you have the fire knob, you have the trajectory, blast time, spot size, and brightness. These are adjustments that you can make. The source of the beam is going to be right here, and essentially the goal is to hit these pieces. You can hit them individually if you want, or you can sort of adjust them to your leisure here. So let's just do a blind fire. Boom. So that's what it does. It has no way of letting you know if you hit anything. You kind of just have to visualize it and go, okay, I think I hit that. That counts. And we can adjust the trajectory right here. So as you see, it goes a little bit that way, a little bit that way. Boom, boom, boom. Blast time. We can increase that. Spot size. Boom. So you can see, because I made the blast time long, if we shorten that a bit, see it explodes a lot earlier, and now our spot is really big. So essentially, I guess the goal is to get the spot on these structures here. So we can pretty much just move it in the way. This is probably going to be one of the easiest games I've ever beaten on the Gaming Goblin. So here, let's just I'll put this one here. I'll put that there, and we'll put that there, and we're just gonna try to hit them all here. So let's go for our first one. So we'll adjust the trajectory a little bit. Not that far. A little bit. Boom. And let's decrease the blast size just a. Oh, boom. Decrease the spot size. Okay. That looks like a hit to me. We got the first one. All right, so let's go for the second one here. So this is the most 40s it could possibly get. Here's your Allied or Axis bombers, and there's a U-boat or an enemy ship. Let's increase the blast time a little bit and adjust the trajectory. Boom. There we go. We got the sub. Now let's go for the red plane. So that's over there. We'll increase the blast time a good bit. Boom. There we go. Direct hit. And so we've beaten the game, ladies and gentlemen. we've we've beaten the game in under 10 minutes here on the Gaming Goblin. Let's look at the brightness too. Let's see if that does anything cool. This probably blew people away in the 40s though, let's be honest. You can make it really dim. It looks like a sperm. But yeah, there we go. That is the cathode ray tube amusement device. And like I said, unfortunately there's no way to play this on the original hardware. That's going to be the case with a lot of these games that we might end up discussing here on this show. But yeah, let me know what you think of this video. It's interesting. It's not the most entertaining. I realize that it's nothing like a Pal World or like Oblivion or anything like that. But let me know if you want to see more of these videos. I'm really interested in this kind of stuff, and it'd be cool to see how we get from here to something like the NES. You know what I mean? It's interesting, and you would think that video games started with, like, people think Pong is probably like one of the first video games, or like the Magnavox Odyssey, which was like the first home video game console. But in reality, the history of this stuff started many decades before any of that stuff. So it's pretty cool, at least to me. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Like I said, let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate the support. Be sure to check out some of the other videos on the page. We got something new going up every single day. And let me know what you think. Have you heard of the cathode ray tube amusement device? Are you interested in what else could be out there? But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.